Big season coming up for our left tackle, Stanton Ramil. But first, he's got to go talk to some people over at Big Ten Media Days next week. But first, before all that, guys, believe it or not, he actually joins us on today's show.
You are Locked On Spartans, your daily podcast on the Michigan State Spartans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Episode of Locked On Spartans is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. Spartan friends, Spartan family, Locked On Spartans listeners, thank you all so much for tuning in to Locked On Spartans. It's your team in green and white right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Please rate, review, subscribe, comment below if you have the utmost belief in Stanton Ramil, our left tackle, because, guys, yes, he joins us on today's show, but hey, let's say that you don't know who Stanton Ramil is, because I get it. Look, left tackle, there's no position on the football field that gets less shine for the amount of work and importance that they actually have on the field. And look, I understand if you're listening to a daily college sports show in the middle of July, I'm going to go ahead and assume that you are a sick enough fan to, know who every single offensive lineman is. But let's say you don't. Let's say you don't know who this fine player is, Stanton Ramil. As a redshirt freshman last year, as your left tackle, he played 11 games. He only missed the Ohio State game, and we mentioned the Ohio State game coming up. I got my O schools mixed up. I thought that he missed the Oregon game, not the Ohio State game. Anyway, we get that patched up. But nevertheless, he's played 11 games last season, and that wasn't just your regular redshirt freshman season. That was coming off of an ACL injury he had as a true freshman. So, look, Pro Football Focus, they graded him out as a middling 54, right? And I'm not giving you lies. I'm not just spewing you nonsense when I say this, but I am sold on him. Even though it wasn't, on paper, according to Pro Football Focus, the greatest season an offensive lineman has ever had. All right, guys, look, he's a former four-star. 6'7", 300 pounds. I'll say it again, 11 games of experience. And let's say this too, 11 tough games of experience. That was a very, very brutal schedule Michigan State had last year. And he has more than 600 snaps of experience in just those 11 games. And nothing, and I mean nothing, makes an offensive lineman better than a lot of experience against some top and competition. Guys, look, in the middle of the season, he gave up 6 pressures each against Iowa and Michigan. Those were two behemoth teams when it came to pass rush, especially Michigan. My God, if there's any redeeming quality with the Michigan Wolverines last year, it was the pass rush. He got that thrown to him in a baptism by fire. And he also says this in the conversation we're about to have. He said that after those games, things really started to click for him. Okay, and there's actually numbers to back that up too. Again, guys, 12 pressures in just those 2 games against Iowa and Michigan. In the last 4 games of the season, he just had 10 total pressures allowed. His pass blocking grades went up every single week on Pro Football Focus for those last 4 weeks. Guys, it clicked. This experience has compounded into what will be a good player for Michigan State, not just this year, but hopefully for years to come here. Because it's not just me spewing nonsense that, hey, it's okay to have I wouldn't even say like a rough year. It's okay to not have like an elite year right off the bat if you're a young lineman, because it has happened where you do, thanks to your experience, thanks to your great frame that you came into college with, that it does turn into something good here. I mean, I'm going to go outside of Michigan State here, guys, because Arante Ursary, Big Ten lineman of the year out of Minnesota, goes in the second round. It was a slow go for him in his career. And again, eventually, he's a third-year starter. He is a top 2-round draft pick. He is the Big Ten lineman of the year. Or, hey, if you take Pro Football Focus as a gospel, Holland Pierce, tackle out of Rutgers, one of their highest grading tackles in the Big Ten. It was a slow go for him early on in his career. You want to go down to Iowa, okay? Jennings Dunker. Who's that? Okay, well, he was a second-team All-Big Ten tackle last season. Wasn't the greatest. Guys, you get what I'm saying. It doesn't have to start so quick for you immediately if you're an offensive lineman. But if you have the pedigree that, hey, Stanton Ramil does have, which isn't just being 6'7", 300 pounds, also coming in here as a damn near top 200 recruit in the nation out of high school, yeah, I'm a firm believer in Stanton Ramil. So, hey, guys, enough for what I have to say. We get into a lot of it with Stanton himself. We talk about Big Ten Media Days. We talk about his experiences, his redshirt freshman season, the ups and definitely the downs of his injury that he had as a freshman. Great conversation with Stanton. Let's just get to it right now. Gang, this is a big one, both literally and figuratively. We have your starting left tackle on the call right now. It is the one, the only Stanton Ramil. And Stanton, you got a big week coming up here. You are heading over to Big Ten country. Of course, we're talking Las Vegas for Big Ten Media Days.
Yeah.
So let's get you ready here. Like, do you want to prepare for this crash course with an easy question? Do you want me to give you a hard question? How do you want to prepare for this?
We'll start off easy.
Stanton, how were you picked for this? I mean, there's so many players on this roster, so many great voices, great representatives of this university. Yeah. But no, really, like, how on earth were you one of the chosen three here to head over to Vegas for this?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of different factors. One, God put me in a position to just be at Michigan State at the right time. I've been here for 3 years now and just, worked as hard as I could, both on and off the field, been as good as a teammate as possible, and just, combine a couple of those factors, was able to be a leader on the team and get chosen to be sent here.
Easy as that. So did you come to them or do they come to you asking like, hey, do you want to come here? Or did you like in a way raise your hand and say like, hey, I'd love to go to media days right now?
No, they came to me. They came to me for it, coming out of spring ball, I had a pretty good spring ball, and it was in the back of my mind that I might be chosen to get sent there. And, it hadn't came up until Coach Smith asked me if I'd accept the opportunity to go there. So yeah.
Excellent. How are you feeling about that? Like, is talking to the media, like, is that something you find comfortable? Is this a little bit of uncomfortable water for you? Or just as we're looking into a massive week over in Vegas, how are you feeling right
now? Every time we do media just at the facility or whatever, it's pretty easy, nothing that stresses me out too much, but I'm not really sure how it's going to go when there's going to be quite the crowd there. But, I just take a deep breath, try to be myself as best as possible, and then go with it. And usually it turns out decently.
You guys get like coaching at all? Are they giving you advice, or is it pretty much just, all right, we trust these guys, no one's going to go out and like guarantee a national championship or anything like that? Or is there actually a little bit of coaching to this behind the scenes?
There's definitely some coaching, and
okay.
They'll hit you up on a couple different pieces. They definitely don't just send you in there not telling you anything, but just talk less about yourself, more about the team type deal, and go from there.
We like that. Well, let's talk about the team actually, because usually in interviews, like especially when we're interviewing young players, we start with, hey, high school, how'd you find your way to Michigan State? But this time we're just going backwards actually, Stan. I hope you're okay with that, because look, before we get to your freshman year, how you found your way at Michigan State, let's go back to spring ball, something that just wrapped up a few weeks ago. Did it feel different at all this offseason than the past offseason? And if so, what did feel different about it this time around?
No, I would say it was totally different. A lot of the O-line was there for a year with Coach M, and we were able to pick up on the playbook way quicker. We knew what was expected. And then the guys that transferred in, they were older, more veteran guys. Everyone was on the same page. I mean, it was just a lot more put together, and much more was expected out of us, I would say. So, just applying that, it ended up being a much better spring ball.
And speaking of the transfers, because there's a lot of transfers all over the place, but especially on the offensive line here. Mm-hmm. Anyone that came in and just immediately impressed you, just blew you out of the water, where you're thinking, oh my God, I didn't think that they'd be this ready this quick so far?
Yeah. I mean, all four of them. I think it's four. Connor, Luca, Caleb, and Matt. We're all,
I think so. I think you're right. Yeah.
Super impressive just with the way they attacked the weight room, the way they attacked the film room, treatment, recovery, everything about it was very impressive, and the way we all clicked together. So, I'd say all of them, really.
Guys, plenty more to come with your starting left tackle for your Michigan State Spartans. But first, Monarch Money. Because ever wish managing your money was just a little easier? God, I know I feel like that. With Monarch Money, it can be that easy. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It is like having your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Now, Monarch Money is more than just a budgeting app. It is a complete financial command center, so you can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building your wealth. Guys, it is so easy to manage Monarch Money with a partner, too. They have simple tools that can help both of you stay on track, work in harmony with one another, just on one simple platform like Monarch Money, guys. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. Again, guys, that's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONCollege, all one word, Locked On College, for half off your first year. I'll say it one more time, guys. That is monarchmoney.com. In front of from the young guys, and this is like one of the benefits of last season in a weird way, because there was 1,000 injuries. Of course, everyone got experience was the benefit.
Yep.
Of the young guys that are coming back from last year, whether they're sophomores this season or, same as you, your third year in college, anyone really impressed you so far in spring ball where you were even shocked that they took that big of a jump so far this offseason?
I would say they all were, really impressive. There's been a lot of guys who've been just knocked out with injuries who didn't really have a chance to show off their talent. And, just being able to see them in spring ball was pretty impressive. Not one particular comes to mind, but everyone really had a really solid spring ball.
Because whenever we're asked, hey, what young players can we look forward to? Of course, we throw your name in the mix, although it may seem like you've been here for 8 years already. Yeah. But Rakeem Johnson, he got some serious run at the beginning of last season. Just thrown in the fire against, what was it, the Ohio State start that he got?
Against Ohio State, yeah.
Man, oh man, that's tough. What was that the toughest front that you faced, Ohio State, or was there something else that?
So that Ohio State game, I tore a little ligament in my hamstring.
Okay.
And I wasn't able to play, and that's why Rakeem,
That's right. It was Ohio State, not Oregon. I got my O teams mixed up there. That's right. That's right.
He stepped up that game and started for us, and he honestly played pretty well for being a true freshman against such a veteran and well-coached D-line. So,
What is the hardest part about just, having those early starts in your college career? Whether it's you last year as a redshirt freshman getting your first starts, or a young guy like Rakeem Johnson, is it just the speed? Is it the power? Is it just some technicalities on the other side of the ball? What makes it so hard to go straight to college?
No, I mean, being an offensive lineman, there's a lot. You can make up for technique in most situations with grit.
Okay.
And just want to, but playing a lot as a freshman, you're gonna have to continually advance as the season goes. You can't stay steady. So it's just about being able to be coachable, have the right mindset, and just want to advance as the season goes on. So that's probably one of the tougher parts.
Before we get more into last season, especially, just your individual play last year, I just do have one question about spring ball. And this is the hard question, Stan. Are we ready for the hard one here? Because this isn't even about you or your position. And it's kind of in an awkward spot because, yes, we want to hear that the offensive line is doing well. Mm-hmm. But last year, the pass rush, that was one of the issues during the season. So the question is, how did the pass rush look in spring? Because on one hand, you don't want to get beat routinely, I'm sure, as you guys are out there. But on the other hand, hey, if they rush the passer this year, things are going to be looking a lot better at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. So, how did the pass rush look in spring ball? Were there any names as a unit? Did it look better, or just go ahead? Because this is where it gets hard for you. You got to answer the awkward question now.
No, as a unit, it looked better.
Okay.
Just fundamentals, techniques, just as far as the D ends and the D tackles' ability to get off the ball. One, just being such an important part to the rush, and their ability to use their hands. It's just, them being in the system with Coach Leggy and getting to work together now for more than 6 months. It's it's really evident how much better they've gotten. And
it's tough because, of course you don't want to get beat over and over again. But, hey, because that's the weird part that happens with spring. We hear reports hey, offensive line's looking really good. And that can mean, okay, great, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But does that mean the D line's not looking good? Like, I don't know. It's just always like
No,
this.
we definitely got each other.
Perfect.
Spring ball, yeah.
Perfect. Was there anyone on the other side of the ball, like when they lined up against you, you had to like really turn it up a little bit? Is there any name out there that is coming out of spring hot right now?
This might be a little cop-out answer, but like,
okay,
my technique is gonna like stay the same versus any of the DNs that I'm gonna play against. I mean, obviously I might alter my set a little bit just depending on whether it's a speed guy or power guy, but it's gonna stay pretty much the same. So I wouldn't say anyone that I really had to buckle up for necessarily.
So, I mean, this is a little comment that I made a little bit ago. This maybe seems like you've been here for a while. How long does it actually feel for you, though? Because you've been through a lot, like coaching changes. You've been through an injury, a full season as a starter. Does this really feel like your third year coming up, or do you feel like you're just this old, weathered veteran of a player?
No, honestly, I see it from both ways. Like, I feel like I've been here for a while, and I've seen a few things, but at the same time, it's like I feel so young. Like,
yeah.
I can't believe that I'm in the situation that I'm in right now. So definitely feel it from both ways. Yeah.
It's got to feel like a bonus, right? Like you have this whole breadth of experience, but still like so much more to go in your college career and hopefully beyond too. Like that's got to feel nice. And amongst all that change too, is that Jim Maholchek, he comes in, offensive line coach. And all that we hear is just like how great of a line coach he is. And this is even before he comes to Michigan State. Plenty of media on the west side of the country were saying, hey, this is one of the best offensive line coaches you could find. Stan, why is that? Like, why do people just absolutely gush about this guy?
I'd say like just more so his personality. Like the guy's just a traditional, honest, give it straight to you kind of guy. Like as much as he is our coach, he also does want to build that relationship with us. So just off the field first, like he's a really just solid dude who's going to give it to you straight, and that's very essential.
Yeah,
as a player. So
is he a big yeller during practice at all, or is he more like mild mannered?
Both.
Okay.
I'd say like he becomes a yeller, and it's either an effort problem or like we've just gone over something more times than we should have.
That's not bad. You want a well-timed yeller. You don't want someone just doing it all the time, 24/7. That's gonna just become old very quickly. But if you could time it right, that's what you want out of your offensive line coach, I think. So that's solid. Perfect, man. So when you go back to last year, just thinking through the whole body of work in the entire season, is there one game or one instance where you think that you grew the most, like learned a lot of lessons, really made a lot of leaps and bounds? I don't put you on the hot seat there because there's a lot of games to pick, but is there one that you really learned a lot against all the rest?
I'm not sure who we played after Michigan. I think it might have been Illinois.
That sounds right. I think that's right. Yeah.
But after the I think it was.
Okay.
After that, I think it went Oregon, then Michigan. From Oregon to Michigan, and then Michigan to Illinois, I feel like I took massive steps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And so when you talk about those steps, is it just technique? Is it reacting faster to what you see? Is it pre-snap diagnosis? Or what was the biggest hurdle you had to get over in that stretch? All the above. Perfect.
Yeah, just noticing small things as far as like where a DN might, angle his foot one way or his feet up if he's going to slant inside or whatnot, or seeing the DBs and the safeties and how they adjust based on, different pressures that they might bring, or, that on the defensive side. And then the offensive side, just like really dialing in my pass set, getting comfortable in the pass set, getting to the spot really quick and being able to actually use my hands instead of like I said earlier, trying to make up what I lacked in technique with grit, because that can only get you so far.
Absolutely. And hey, grit is the absolute name of the game here in East Lansing too. We love a player that plays with a chip on their shoulder, plays with grit, of course.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm sorry, I lied. I actually have two hard questions. Are you ready for the second one here? We are really ramping up your Big Ten Media Day crash course right here.
Let's do it.
Because there's nothing worse than like talking about yourself and grading yourself. But like, look, redshirt freshman, you're the full season starter. Basically, you're coming off of this knee injury the season before. How do you think you played last year? I mean, I know that's a very hard question to answer, but truly, like, were you satisfied with how you played last year as a first-year starter?
I'm satisfied with the good parts.
Sure, I like that.
I will say I'm pretty confident in the fact that I played pretty well at times, and then I've obviously, struggled at times, and, you hate to see yourself struggle, but you can really just focus on the good parts, learn from the bad parts, and then move forward from there. So, as far as grading, I don't know what grade I'd give myself, but, definitely, like I said, happy with the progress that I made over the season, happy especially when I played good and what that looked like.
Yeah, definitely. How did the knee feel during the entire season? I mean, was it pretty much okay? Were there, dips in how it felt during the season?
No, it was pretty good.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, no problems.
Gotcha. That's great to hear. God, medicine is amazing, isn't it? Like that's incredible. So,
Yeah.
I mean, but how tough was that to just go through all of that? Did that take a long time to just mentally bounce back, or was it a thing where after a few days after the injury happens, like you kind of made peace with it in a way? Just take us through that whole journey between the years when that happens.
So that happened my first fall camp.
Okay.
And honestly, doing that in fall camp sucks because
Yeah.
all fall camp is just football. So, you get knocked out for a little bit. You're just still surrounded by football. Like you don't get to hang out with family or whatever while you're on ice, but you're just around football 24/7. So that part sucked. But, going forward and just had so much to look forward to. Just I could really focus in on certain things, on certain parts of the game that I really wanted to get better at. So that was definitely a blessing in a sense.
Who helped get you through that moment too? Because I can't imagine how tough the weeks, just like you said, on the sidelines watching that or the months following after. Who helped you the most just getting you through that time of the season?
There's so many people, countless. I mean, family, my parents, our trainers were all great. My roommate, Cole Dunger, was, he got hurt a couple times too that year, and him being around and us experiencing the same thing was, I hate to say it was great because we were both injured, but it was definitely helpful just being around someone that was going through it. Alex Van Sumeren had the same deal. So, there's so many people, it'd be hard to name them all.
I mean, that's so unfortunate that the offensive line has seen this many injuries, but I'm glad you brought up Cole because this is a guy that, just like you, came out of high school as a very highly regarded recruit, but we haven't really seen him in action just because he's had, injury issues. Like, how is he doing now? I don't expect you to give me the full medical report on him and, break a bunch of medical laws here, but is he in good spirits? Is he on the field? Like, what is he looking like right now?
Yeah, his body's, feeling good. So
Okay.
he says. He's moving pretty well. He's, been training pretty well. Hasn't seen much issues. So he's got a lot to look forward to.
And you know what, to get you out the door here, I got an easy one. I gave you two hard ones. It's only fair to give you two easy ones here. How excited are you for the season? Because I just have the insatiable urge to just be screaming my head off on third down, 20 rows up in the end zone after a good 5-hour tailgate. Oh God, I need this right now, man. I can't imagine how stoked you are as a player. How excited are you right now?
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Just the dudes that, that we've all trained with, that how long we've trained together, and just finally being able to see what we can do with it. And, just having that confidence that we can be such a dominant offensive line and, really lead the team to a Big Ten championship and then whatever that would bring. So I'm really looking forward to it and just feeling the love from the fans after a great game and, just that fall weather, that football, putting the pads on. It's exciting.
I need it. I do like that word that you used too, confidence. Safe to say that there is a confidence coming out of this room as we go into fall camp here.
For sure. Just as far as, knowing the playbook, having depth, everything about it.
Depth, man. That's the D word that was missing last year. It was crazy. So again, I know I brought it up. I've brought it up 1,000 times on this show here, but it's absolutely sucked to see the offensive line get wiped out immediately. But if there's any silver lining, it is that a lot of guys got some good college experience. So That's good to hear that. Hey, it's not just a talking head like myself saying, hey, there could be confidence with all this experience. It's nice to hear from an actual starter on the team there is some confidence coming out of this room, man. So Stan, can't thank you enough for burning up some time here. Hopefully you're ready for Big Ten Media Days. I don't know how well this
that was great
prepared you. Perfect. There we go. Excellent. Anytime you want to shout out Locked On Spartans during any question, feel free. If not, no offense taken whatsoever. I know that you're above this, so can't thank you enough, Stan. Anything else you want to shout out here before we let you go and enjoy the desert out there for Big Ten Media Days?
No, I'm just so thankful for you having me on the podcast, and wish you nothing but the best. Thank you so much.
Hey, thankful for you, not just for joining the show, but I have a great time watching you play, man. I'm excited to see you play this season and beyond. Now, guys, all the viewers, all the listeners, we're not done just yet. We got some mailbag questions we're going to get to. So, Stanton, farewell, safe travels over to Vegas. But everyone else, that's right, we're keeping you hostage here. We'll see you in a little bit. And another huge thanks to Stanton for his time. We've been very fortunate, actually. That's our second player interview this week. If you guys missed it earlier this week, wide receiver freshman Braylon Collier, he joined the show as well. Another awesome chat with a great representative of Michigan State. So definitely excited to watch those two guys. And, of course, the rest of the team play this fall here. Now, we're going to crack open the mailbag really quick here. We got 2 questions from the same person. This is from Jameson. Guys, if you ever have any questions, lockedonspartans@gmail.com. Hit us up on Twitter, Sheehan_sports2, with any questions that you got. Because, hey, Lord knows we need them in this offseason. And I love these 2 questions that Jameson have. The first one, you get 5 five-star players to distribute to football and basketball. How do you spread them? What positions do they play? Oh, boy, would it be easy to just go 3 for one sport, 2 to the other sport. But I'm going to cut against the grain here. I'm going to throw 4 5-stars into football and then 1 5-star into basketball. And maybe this makes sense. Maybe this doesn't. But I feel like basketball, you don't really get a lot of juice out of that 5-star orange in comparison than what you get out of a 5-star for football. Look, basketball, these 5 stars, more times than not, they are one and done, right? Of course, that's not, a perfect science, but more times than not, it seems like they are a one and done. And also in those situations, yes, you get your Cooper Flags who just, my God, they hit their ceiling immediately. But it seems like a lot of these 5-star players don't really come into form and blossom into that 5-star flower that they once were rated until like their 2nd or 3rd year in professional basketball. I mean, hey, sure, Cooper Flag, he's great. But you also, Michigan State, hey, Max Christie, sure, he was a fine player, but hey, he skedaddles after 1 year. So, look, I'm not going to absolutely zero out basketball. I'm going to give basketball 1 player because I think it's always fun to have a combo guard. That's a 5-star here. I mean, think Jace Richardson. He was just a 4-star. I think that worked out pretty well for Michigan State. But, yeah, if you can get a guy that's just, a really solid shooter, a guy that can both handle the ball, play off ball, defend on the other end, sure. Yeah, I'll take a 5-star with that. If you want to say you want a 5-star for stretch 4, by all means, go for it. But I think with football, when you get a 5-star, look, it's hard for them to compete and be ready in their first year as a true freshman. Yeah, we saw it with Nick Marsh. It worked out there. But more times than not, it does take until their 2nd year to fully go into that 5-star form and be a contributor on the field. But still, with the draft rules, you get them for their freshman year, of course. Should they contribute or not, who cares? Their sophomore year, when you really start to see them come into their own. And then their junior year, you could be getting 2 or 3 years of their really solid contributions from a 5-star. So that's why I'm going to have 4 football players, 2 on each side of the ball. The first one on offense, I think it's going to be obvious. I would like a 5-star quarterback. Okay, I'm really going to go out on a limb there. And then the second, maybe I'm caught up in the moment from an interview just now, but left tackle is a really, really, really important position, guys. If you don't believe me, I gotta just watch some teams that have a struggling left tackle. It's not easy to play and have an offense move the ball down the field if your quarterback's getting pulverized every other snap. So the other 2 that I'm going to use here, I'm going to go edge rusher, defensive end, anyone that could just maul a quarterback's face. That goes without saying. I'm not even going to go into detail with that. If you haven't figured out how important a pass rusher is by now, you just haven't been watching football in the last few years. I don't have to tell you. But the last 5-star I'm going to burn up here, I'm actually going to go to the back of the defense here. I'm going to go with the safety position. And this is a combination of, hey, look at Caleb Downs at Ohio State. He's a fantastic player, one of the best, if not the best player in college football. But just here in our home in East Lansing, I just go to the experience of what we saw with Xavier Henderson, right? Great safety. Great captain of the defense. Curtis Drummond. Kari Willis was a fantastic safety for us. I mean, guys, Isaiah Lewis, if you want to go back to the Rose Bowl days, usually great defenses have a great safety, just captaining the whole thing behind the linebacker position. So I'm going to go with the safety here for my 5th 5-star. Now, the other question that Jameson had And I'm going to lose about 98% of my audience right here because they're not going to know what I'm talking about, perhaps. And even if you do know what we're talking about, who really cares about, someone else's favorite songs? Because he wrote in maybe my favorite question of all time, favorite Fred Again songs. Now, I'm sure Jameson knows this, but Fred Again's like my favorite DJ, possibly of all time. I do like deadmau5. Of course, I like Skrillex. I like Elderbrook. I like a lot of the basic ones, okay? Call me a casual, but I think that they're very famous because they do great work anyway. And if you're even still listening to this, again, if you are not a part of this demographic of electronic music fans, it's going to be like I'm talking Swahili to you. But he wrote in his favorite Fred Again songs. Tate, also known as How I Feel. 10, absolutely love that song. Actually, almost 2-year-old son, that's one of his favorite songs. So 10 has a special place in my heart. And then Berwin, Guess and Neighbors. So I'm going to go with the Mount Rushmore here for my favorite Fred Again songs. Again, who could possibly care about this? This was the toughest question I've ever had to answer. My top 4 Fred Again songs. Glow, the one that he did with Fortet and Skrillex. I mean, no words in that song. It's about 5-6 minutes long. Just great memories just come waving back in my head with friends, family, loved ones. That is such a beautiful song. Delilah, also known as Pull Me Out of This. Listen to that song a ton during COVID. That is such a great COVID anthem. Adore You. I got to go with number 3 because when my wife was in the delivery room, and of course I was with her too for our second child, I kept trying to, have Adore You be the song that our son came out to. And I played that maybe 5 times in a 20-minute span to the point where she asked for more music to be played. So I tried, but hey, close enough. Adore You's got to be up there, number 3. And then We Lost We Lost Dancing was a COVID anthem. I'm sorry. Delilah, Pull Me Out of This. That's just a beautiful song. But We Lost Dancing, that's the COVID anthem that just played over and over again. But man, I'm leaving Flex FM off the list. I'm leaving Places to Be off the list. Piece You Need off the list. Envelopes Me off the list. Jungle, Stay In It, Turn On the Lights. I mean, that was a tough question. And now I'm going to turn this off. Hopefully you guys, throw on some Fred again. Every day is a great day to turn on that wonderful artist. They've got the hard-hitting stuff. They got the softer stuff. It is fantastic what that gentleman does. But now I'm going to go just do some cleaning upstairs. I'm going to listen to Fred again, and it's going to be great. Even though I've heard these songs maybe 200, 300, 400 times. But thanks for the question, Jameson. Much appreciated. Thanks to everyone that listened. The viewers, the listeners, you guys are all truly the best. We will be back after this weekend, guys. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy your weekend. Let's mix into water. Now go green.